Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're going to do another video on the M2, and in this video I'm going to go over the window sticker, what options this car has on it, maybe some future plans. Alright guys, this is my new 2024 BMW M2. This color is Toronto Red Metallic. So if you look in the sun, you can see a little bit of metallic flake. It's like a very subtle metallic, which I kind of like. I like heavy metallic too, but this is kind of cool how it's like a subtle metallic. Definitely picked this color on purpose. I didn't want any of the other colors. Like Brooklyn Gray was like okay, but I don't know, I felt like this red color was the best color for this car, and it still pops. So it's not like a weird color, sorry for the sirens in the background, but it's not like a weird color like an orange or a yellow or something like that. But it's a nice red color that still pops. It does have front and rear parking sensors. It also has side sensors. I chose the lighting package and the shadow line package. So you see the headlights are all nice and blacked out, and it has the upgraded headlights. They swivel with the steering, and also has a cornering light in there. And then this full thing right here is a LED daytime running light. And then if you turn on the turn signal, this whole thing is a turn signal as well. Stay tuned for a night video because I want to go over the lights on this car as well. I'm a big fan of the front end of this car. I know it's a little boxy on like the lower end there, but I'm a big fan of the front end of this car. I think it looks really aggressive. Has a nice sports car look to it. It says M2 in the grill, and it still has normal size grills. I mean, obviously this lower portion is a little like unique, you know, that's not really like normal BMW because normally it's like curved, but I like that it still has a normal size grill. It's got the nice Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. These are the black M wheels. I would have preferred the ones with the machine finish, but these aren't bad. I just prefer the one with the machine finish, but I couldn't be too picky because this car was actually on a lot available, and it wasn't like I special ordered it, because the dealerships around town here in Vegas were telling me if I special order it, it's going to be like a year wait. And I understand, like in New York and other places, they're like, oh, I got my car in 2 months. But in reality, it's going to be a long time if you order this car, so I didn't really want to wait that long. Not like I had to have it right now, but you know, when you special order a car, you have to wait so long for it that, you know, you might lose interest in that car, something else might come out, or finances might change. So there's a lot of different things involved. You can see the red looks beautiful here in the sun. I did get it ceramic coated, so it's all nice and shiny now. The paint is in good shape. I also got the calipers ceramic coated and the wheels, so that it'll be easier to clean because these brakes have a lot of brake dust. Full LED taillights. Like I said, I'll do a night video on the lighting, but I think the taillights look pretty cool. They're also blacked out. Got the black exhaust tips. Nice quad tip exhaust. There's the rear end. It might look good with like a little duckbill spoiler, but I have seen some aftermarket ones and they're a little too big. I feel like it makes it look a little cheap when the spoiler is like too big. This one's like a nice elegant spoiler, but I mean, I feel like if they would have just made it a little bit bigger, you can see there, just a tiny bit bigger, I feel like that would have looked really cool. Reverse parking sensors, side sensors, all that stuff. One thing I really love about the M2 styling is the wide body. So as you guys know, on M cars you get a wide body, so you can see we have these really wide fender flares right here. Really wide fenders, super wide side sills. It's hard to see it on camera, but it has a really nice muscular look to it because it's so wide. See the nice wide fenders in the front sticking out, all of which make this car look really good in my opinion. I know there's a lot of people out there that hate on the looks of this car, but I think it looks really good, and you really have to see it in person to appreciate it. Really nice aggressive front end. Alright guys, so I'm not too happy that they folded up my window sticker in 8 squares, but anyway, you see here 2024 M2 Coupe starts at $63,200 before destination and anything else. The Toronto Red Metallic was $650. Shadowline package, which has like the nice black headlights and the black exhaust tips, was only $300. The lighting package, which gets you the adaptive full LED lights, definitely worth it. It looks really cool. $650. This one also has remote start, so that's kind of unique because a lot of German cars don't have remote start. Obviously the 8-speed auto. I got the 8-speed auto. Definitely would not get the manual in this car. Adaptive in suspension, all standard. red calipers on the brakes, heated steering wheel, $200 option. Carbon fiber trim was $800. Definitely would have picked that because you get the cool paddle shifters and you also get the nice carbon fiber interior, which I think is the best looking trim. The M carbon roof, if I had the option to not pick this, I wouldn't have, but I was kind of forced to pick that. And the reason why is because if you don't get the carbon roof, it comes with a sunroof. And 2 Series, I do not fit in with sunroofs. I just can't fit in the car, even with the seat all the way down. So I do have the carbon roof, which now that I have it, it does look really cool. That's also ceramic coated, so you can really see the nice carbon fiber weave. And then another benefit that I found out later actually is that it saves about 50 pounds off the weight of the car. So that's another nice little benefit there. Let's keep going down our list here. Parking assistant, I didn't need that. I think it comes standard with front and rear parking sensors, but the parking assistant is that like auto parking and like reverse assist and all that stuff. I don't really need that, to be honest with you. Live Cockpit Pro is the heads up display. So this one does have the heads up display. You guys can see it right there. That was $1,100. Another option that I probably wouldn't have picked, to be honest with you. And so with all those options, destination charge, all that stuff, comes out to $70,995. And there's an MPG, 16 city, 23 highway, 19 combined. Although it does get much better than 23 on the highway. When I drove it back from California, I was getting like 26, 27. But that's the M2. Obviously, it's cost a lot of money now. You know, M2s are no longer $50,000 to $60,000. But you know, the car is much better now. You know, as far as like the performance, you have the S58 engine, just detuned. And correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys are experts in the comments, definitely let me know. But as far as I'm concerned, I think the S58 in this car is just a detuned version of the S58 in the M3 and the M3 competition. It just has less power, but it's the same exact hardware on the engine. So what that leads me to believe is that if I tune this car, it'd be the same exact horsepower as a competition or a M3 manual, because that makes sense, right? Because it's just a tune that's different. So I think the hardware is exactly the same. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's kind of a nice little feeling that if you do tune this car in the future, you'll have all the power of the M3 competition and all the power of the M3 regular one as well. Just in a smaller package that's about 150 pounds lighter. Not terribly lighter. It's not like the old M2 where it's like, you know, 3,500 pounds, 3,400 pounds. But definitely lighter than the M3 and M4. Not by much, but it is lighter. One thing that kind of sucks about all 2 Series is that they're made in Mexico. I wish that they were made in Germany. If you're familiar with M cars, they start with WBS for the VIN when they're German-made M cars. This one, unfortunately, is made in Mexico. The build quality seems amazing on the car. I don't see any issues with the build quality, but I do kind of like having a car that's built where the manufacturer's from. So, for example, my Golf R is built in Germany. Volkswagen is a German brand. Let's go ahead and hop inside and go for a little drive. Actually, before we do that, let me show you guys the trunk real quick. Not that you guys really care about the trunk, but there's a pretty good amount of space in here. It's not bad. You know, you can see, you can probably put like maybe 3 luggages in here, maybe one over here and one on the side, one on top. Not bad at all. This does lift up and your battery is underneath the back. It's right in the middle, so the battery is in the rear of the car to help with weight distribution. Hopping inside here, we have these really cool illuminated M lights in the door sills. I think that was an option on 22s and now it's, or excuse me, an option on 23s and now standard on 24s. This little light there, that's pretty cool. Memory seats, all that stuff. You get all the nice power adjustments on the seats, lumbar. You can adjust the how tight you want the bolsters on the side. I did get the black seats with the M color highlight. I would have been fine with the cognac or cognac, whatever you call it, seats as well. Those are the tan ones. Either or, I'm open to both. Got the nice M pedals down there. M steering wheel, it's heated, like I said, that $200 option. You get the same steering wheel out of M5s, M8s, M3s, same exact steering wheel. Looks really nice. Let's go ahead and hop inside. All right, let's start her up. Button is right here. There we go. And by the way, in the future, I'll make a video on going over all the M drive modes, the M traction control. There's a lot of stuff to go over with this car. There's so many settings you can configure, so I definitely want to make a video going over all that stuff with you guys. Also, the shift firmness, kind of testing that out. Nice headroom because we don't have a sunroof, so I can fit in this car very nicely at 6'5". And we got the little LED there, LED interior lights obviously. These seats look really cool. Nice carbon fiber trim on the steering wheel, the sides here, down below here. Nice little storage space in there as well. Alrighty, let's take it for a spin. So the shifter, you just push over to the right. Now you're in drive. And I have my exhaust on like the open mode, but I don't really notice that big of a difference with the exhaust button. The main difference is when I go into like the M2 mode, then it definitely opens up the valve. So I just thought I'd give you guys an update on what I plan on doing with this car. I don't plan on doing any sort of crazy modifications. So if you're expecting me to do, you know, like crazy engine modifications and lowering and new wheels and tires and all kinds of new stuff like that, honestly, I don't see myself doing that with this car, because just like with my Golf R, I like the way they made it from the factory. I think it's nice already. So I don't want to screw around with the factory stuff. And you know, if there's ever a warranty concern, I don't want them to be like, oh, it's modified. Right now I have 593 miles on it. So definitely need to get those break-in miles in before I can really start getting on it. The highest I've ever gone in the RPMs, I think was like 4,000-ish. And not full throttle, like 30-40% throttle. So I've been babying this car so far. I think my Golf R, I started flooring it after like 600-700 miles. But this one, I'm really trying to take my time and baby it, because you know, it's the most money I've ever spent on the car, and I want to make sure it's nice and treats me well for many years to come. This car I definitely want to keep long term. It's a car that's always going to be cool. It's always going to be nice. You never know, maybe I'll have it for, you know, 5 years or so. And I plan on keeping my Golf R too. So if you guys like watching my Golf R videos, I plan on keeping that one as well. Unless, of course, you know, Volkswagen comes out with the new Golf R that's so much better, or, you know, some other manufacturer comes out with a daily driver that I think is just amazing and I just have to get it. I do plan on keeping my current lineup for a while. The transmission is amazing. So I came from a Mustang GT, a Mustang EcoBoost, and a GTI with the DSG. The GTI's DSG was better than the Mustang transmission, hands down, as far as like smoothness and all that stuff. This transmission takes the cake out of all of them. Now the DSG does have the cool little farts and stuff, and it does shift really fast, but this transmission has the best of both worlds. Not only is it extremely smooth when you're cruising normally, but it's extremely fast. So it's literally the best of both worlds, and you can even adjust the shift firmness and all kinds of stuff. Launch control. So I'm extremely happy with the transmission. I'm extremely happy with this engine as well. I know there were some reports on like the manual transmission ones that people said that it kind of doesn't really have a lot of low end torque, so you really have to kind of wring it out, long gears and stuff like that. With the automatic, it has a bunch of low end torque, especially since I'm used to a Mustang GT. And I'm comparing this one a lot with my Mustang GT because the GTI and the Golf R are kind of different vehicles. This one has so much more low end torque. You can just zoom in and out of traffic at 3,000 RPM, no problem. And I really love that, having that, you know, that versatile power band to where it has good top end and also has good mid-range and low end. Whereas the GT was only mid to top end, because low end torque, if you guys know anything about 5.0s, no low end torque at all on 5.0s. So I love that dynamic of it. The steering wheel feels really good. It is really thick. Maybe if it was a slightly thinner, it would be a little bit better, but it is kind of nice having this big beefy steering wheel. Ride quality is pretty good in the comfort mode, but you can definitely tell you're in a sports car. It doesn't feel like a nice comfy ride. Like for example, my Golf R in the comfort mode in the suspension settings, it rides almost like a luxury car. Like it really dampens the bumps and everything. This one, you definitely know you're in a sports car when you're driving this one. You can feel the bumps. The tires are a little noisy. The Michelins are a little noisy. And like I mentioned earlier, they do pick up a lot of like rocks and stuff like that. Stay tuned for plenty of videos to come. All kinds of, you know, ownership type videos. Stay tuned for all of that. If you guys have any suggestions on anything you want to see in the comments, definitely leave those suggestions there. We'll definitely be going to Mexico and doing stuff like that. We'll be racing Mustang GTs. We'll be seeing how much slower it is than an M3 competition. We'll be looking at all of that stuff. So definitely stay tuned. And I think you guys will enjoy my videos because, you know, I am in the US, although I go to Mexico often. I am in the US, so, you know, you're not looking at European M2s. because I know that when I look at M2s online and I see a European one, I'm like, okay, something must be different. The speedometer's in kilometers, and you know, it just doesn't feel right. I want to hear what you guys think of the M2 in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.